Agent Mulder here, and I'm here with Matthew Wagner, another fellow believer. Matt, please tell me your story.
Okay.
Be nice, calm, clear. Speak directly into the mic.
Okay. Once, when I was 17, and I had that terrifying experience with the paranormal, where ghosts, at least I think they were, maybe spirits, I don't know, probably the same thing, who knows.
Sorry, I farted. Keep going.
Anyway, the first one, I was working out, and I was really happy and excited that I hit a new PR in the bench press. I hit like 155 at that point. I was excited. I was getting ready to go up the steps to get some water. Before I even hit the first step, a man appeared right in front of me. I was startled, took one step back, and then I see an arm reach, grab me on the neck, and then slam me into the wall behind me, and then hold me there for a while. It felt like an eternity, but he didn't say anything. He just looked at me with a really intense, angry look in his eyes, which I feared and I respected in a weird way. But then my arms were pinned like to the wall as well, which I couldn't understand, and I was like in a wall sit position, and it felt like there were like chains and like weights strapped to my body, and I couldn't move. And like I tried to move my neck, just to move my head a little, and like I had like this weird sense like if you move you die, and there was something sharp around my neck as well.
Well,
But like I felt so drained after like he eventually disappeared. The second he disappears, like all like the weights and crap that felt like they were strapped to me, my body just went limp, and I fall on the ground. When I wake up, like maybe 10 or 15 minutes later, there's like this pool of sweat by my head, and like I just rush upstairs to my dog when she was still alive. I miss you, Snowball. I stayed up there for quite a while because I was freaked out to go back down there. And before I eventually got the courage to go back to bed, there's this closet door upstairs, and my dog just kept looking at the door, and then she would look at me. She would kind of nudge. I thought she wanted me to pet her, and then she would look at the door again, and then I looked at her, and then I looked at the door, and then the doorknob just went, and then just swung gently open. And this door, pretty much, and this door, it's a door that you have to use a lot of force because it's wedged.
Mm-hmm.
But it just swung open so like nothing, and we just looked at each other like, what the beep?
You can swear, bro.
What the fuck? And then I was like, okay, I'm really scared now. And then I went downstairs eventually, had all the lights on for a while, and then I got tired. And then I was getting ready to start. I was starting to go to bed, and I turned the lights off, but I turned the TV on so that there'd still be some light. And then I just watched some more. I forget what I was watching. And then I was getting ready to turn the TV off, and then it kind of just went all like snowy or whatever. And then I turned it, or white noise, and then I turned it off for a sec, but it didn't turn off completely. It just or it did turn off, but then it turned back on again. I don't know if I hit a button to turn on, but the channel that I was on was I think it was Adult Swim. It was just white noise. And then
Snowball turned and looked at you and said, "They're here."
No, she was upstairs sleeping. And then there was a weird heaviness that came about in the room, and I couldn't my whole body was starting to become paralyzed again, and there was
this big woman who loves when you flirt with her. I think it is.
Ooh.
She's got a huge ass minigun.
Where is she?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's all right.
She's coming up. That's what they're all fighting against. What's up with the Russians in the tracksuits?
Must be a small army out there.
It's because it makes it look awesome.
Come out, or I'll shoot through those boxes.
Damn.
Wouldn't want that.
I'll just say it. I like Russian women.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I did not hear you in
I'm on vacation.
So, what else were you cutting? What else were you talking about? The rest of your story?
And then after like my body was like just about numb, there was like this weird pull. Like my blanket was starting to slowly be pulled off me, and like for somehow I don't even know how I did it, but like I was able to like somehow grab it and hold on, and
I do not want
through like I don't know if it was just desperation, but I was slowly moving my body to wrap myself in the blanket, and I somehow did. But like as soon as I did, I was like stuck like facing the wall out, like the outside wall toward like the windows and stuff in the basement, and there was like this weird red like orb that just flew right by my head looking at me. I closed my eyes quick right when it got there, and then I slightly opened it and it was just standing, it was just like floating right there. Then it just went to the corner of the room, and I was able to like, I slowly opened my eyes, and then a shadow appeared from that orb, and then there was like this really sinister laughter that sounded female, and it was going like you're going to die, you're gonna die in 7 years. And then like the only thing I could the only word I could somehow manage to muster was like a really quiet what. And then I was able to move again. I turned on all the lights, all of them, and I just stayed awake. I stayed awake for like another hour, so it was like maybe 2:33 in the morning. I eventually fell asleep at 4 in the morning. Don't know how. I just was so damn tired, I guess. And then like it was shortly after I had like the craziest dream where I was in this dark void, and like there was nothing around me. I couldn't see much except there were like these gold letters that would appear, and they spelled out, "Do you want to see something interesting?" And I pretty much looked around. There was nothing. I'm like, beats this boring place. And then it was like, the gold letters just like disappeared, and then another phrase was like, "Well said." And then like there was this weird like glowing light, and I get sucked into it, and then I'm floating above this city. It looks or a city or a village or a town or something. I've never seen it before. It didn't look like anywhere that it didn't look like anywhere I've ever seen. I'm just floating over there and looking at this town. It looked peaceful, looked cool, looked like, you know, like good people and everything. And then like above there were like these numbers that appeared. And then it said like or like some numbers appeared. I still don't even know what they were. It was really quick. And then like as soon as they disappeared, there was like this massive explosion in this city. And like it just wiped a lot of people out, and then I got thrown into that city, and everything was appearing in slow motion as I walked like through this area with just dust and a lot of carnage. And then it showed a lot of people like with firing guns at each other and killing each other and just slaughtering like with knives, and it was just pure like chaos. And I was like, holy crap. And I was like kind of like screaming because it was pretty terrifying to watch.
Wow.
And then I like saw like one thing that really stuck. I remember like seeing a child get gutted and everything, and then like seeing like.
But this was like in a dream?
Yeah.
Right.
And I was just walking, and I'm like, why the hell are you showing me this? And then like after I said that, there was like I got sucked somewhere else, and then there was like it was kind of like a weird film strip, but there were like little pictures of so many different events and people, and like they raced by my eyes, and I could like see like little flashes of events or something that looked like events that were that either took place or were gonna take place or whatever. And like I couldn't like keep up with all of that, and that just like I was like screaming in horror because it was just so much information or something that was flying by.
That's
and then
crazy.
And then like I get sucked back up, and then it says, and then the gold letters say, important choices must be made. Good luck. And then after that, I get sucked back into the dark void, and then I wake up.
Dude, that's
And then and then when I woke up, there was there was one thing I forgot to say. Like before I went to bed, I was washing my clothes too, and I had them I didn't fold them at all. I just kind of threw them in the laundry basket. I was gonna fold them in the morning because I was just too tired and freaked out. There was this little girl on the floor. Like I could see her clear as day. She was like in a blue aura type thing. But my body was frozen again, and I looked at her, and I couldn't say a word. And she was just sitting there folding my clothes. And there was like this neat little pile of like a couple shirts and like 2 pairs of pants.
Mm.
And like I was like trying to say, you don't have to do that. Who are you? What are you doing? I couldn't speak at all. And then she turns around at me, and she just smiles. And she looks like she doesn't have a care in the world. And for some reason, when she smiled and looked at me, there was like tears that started flowing down my face. Like I didn't even know why I was crying. And then there was like this weird warmth. I felt cold, but there was like a warmth feeling as well, that things were gonna be okay. And then she eventually disappears, and when she disappears, I'm able to move again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, next time, not so scary, terrifying fever dreams.
Yes.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.